So welcome back to our third session where we will cover the solution building for tobacco merchants based on their needs. And so what we're looking here, this is what we're lift off with. This right here is a chart of merchant needs for tobacco industry. And just to kind of quickly recap, this right here is the needs driven by manufacturers such as Altria, Reynolds, and ITG. And then aside from that, there is a requirement for age verification, consumer digital coupons, cash payouts, retailer-initiated discounts, other manufacturers' discounts, fees, EBT split, and employee tracking. And in some rare cases where this thing bleeds into a deli, so sell by weight is involved, we also have to deal with scale integration and unit term management. And right now, I'm gonna lead basically the way to build this solution by first presenting the providers. Let's call the anchor providers, right? So because this piece right here is almost a requirement, right? So this is a big piece, the tobacco scan data. And so with that, let me navigate to this chart here. And so I present to you the three providers, Clover today, who deal with tobacco scan data. All right. So first, I want to make sure that this doesn't turn into like a competitor bashing session. So I'm just going to purely focus on the facts and points of difference. All right. So CSI Works, Dezi, and Skupos are the three companies that handle the tobacco scan data offering. And there's definitely major differences between the three of us, right? So I represent CSI Works, obviously. So first, Dezi is a company that at its core isn't even a software developer. So Dezi, a product, is owned by Altria themselves, right? So to remind you, Altria is one of the manufacturers who is driving the requirements, for tobacco scan data to the merchants. And so to help merchants to comply with these requirements, without realizing that there were other companies trying to attempt to solve this problem at the same time on Clover, they've basically developed this app. And so there is an app on Clover. It's called Dezi, and in fact, it is offered for free. There used to be the price used to be $49.99, but if I visit the website, in fact, why don't I do that real quick? So I have here cloverapps.net. So cloverapps.net is my shortcut, is how I get to the Clover app market. And then from here, we can just search for Dezi. And in fact, Dezi is free. This free tier allows you to participate, and there's no additional requirements or anything else, right? So you can have it. And the old plan is $49.99, is no longer offered. So Dezi is free. That's a major difference. We're not. And they do offer a digital coupon solution to their merchants, and it is serviced by Altria. So then there is Skupos. Skupos is different in the sense that, well, first of all, they're not free, even though they say they are, but they really aren't. They just charge outside of Clover, which is a bit of an issue, I would say. But let me just kind of show you. So if we just search for Skupos, right? Now, Skupos is a funded, right? So they have either angels or venture capitalists, but basically there is an external funding involved. And they are the company that has one offer product like this one. Okay, so here's what I was talking about. It's free, right? And nothing else. But then if you click here, right, it says contact Skupos once you download the app to finalize the installation. And if you call this number, you're actually going to learn that it's not free. It's $20 per merchant, per manufacturer. And then there's additional charges for additional functionalities on top of that. So at the very least, they're $60 a month for 3 manufacturers. Okay. Sorry about that. And so this is what we have: claims free, but it's $20 per outside per manufacturer. They have an outside funding, and what that means is it is extremely important to them to gain a merchant base, and they have one app on Clover, and they have other POSs with the same offering. So the reason why I point that out is because you, an agent, right? You have an interest for the merchant to continue to use whatever point of sale you put them on, because if the point of sale system is being changed, guess what else is being changed along with it? Okay, and it wouldn't come from that because they're not really an ISO. They don't really have an interest in merchant services, I don't think, the Skupos, but they do have an interest in being able to support the merchant, and they can't quite do that on Clover completely, right? So they have ability to do, I'll get to the abilities to the point in a second. And so to be able to maintain the merchant, they will need to move it away from Clover to be able to provide the services that they can provide on other systems. And then there's CSI Works. So we are different in the sense that we are purely focused on Clover, like completely focused on Clover. Clover is the strength of ours. We have over 20 apps published on Clover. And then further presentations here, you'll see how strong we are on Clover because, you know, we have like a complete suite of offerings to basically cover all the needs. Self-funded, self-sufficient, so we don't have external pressures to keep growing our numbers no matter what, right? So we don't practice no matter what, you know. So we're more cautious about our growth, right? We don't have this mass market acquisition appetite, but we do have an appetite to maintain a very strong relationship with agents, with you guys. And so from that perspective, we are pure Clover ISV. I would argue that there's a very few of us that completely work in a Clover infrastructure the way that we do. And we are not, because of that, not in competition with you guys, the ISO. And so then let me jump onto this slide here. And I want to kind of point out that I have this chart, right? And it kind of briefly shows that we are just, you know, we're better. We got everything. And that is the truth. And I'll show you in a minute. And then this is what Dezi offers, and that's what Skupos offers. And I'm going to back that up in a minute. But I want to kind of first show you, you know, how I'm coming to this thing. So let's just kind of go from this way to this way, right? So we're talking about the requirements for these 3 companies, Altria, Reynolds, and ITG, right? And can CSI Works do Altria completely? And when I say completely, what do I mean by that? Can we offer the onboarding, the reporting, the discounts, the multi-packs, the loyalty discounts? Yes, we can. Can Dezi do that? Absolutely. Dezi is Altria. They can do it even better than us. Okay, and can Skupos do it? Yes, Skupos can also do it. So all 3 companies can offer Altria on Clover. Okay, and then there's 2 other companies. It's called Reynolds and ITG. Okay, and ITG, the reason why I put Skupos on ITG, because ITG doesn't require any kind of discounting. It's just onboard and report, and they'll pay like a certain they pay spiffs, let's call it that, right? Like not dollar amounts, but cents on each record that gets transmitted, or whatever each item that gets sold that's theirs, something like that. But there's no discounts involved, and because there's no discounts involved, yes, Skupos can handle it as well, and as well as we can. In fact, we don't even price out ITG separately. To us, it just goes along with Reynolds. So whoever gets Reynolds automatically gets ITG. Skupos will sell it to you at an additional merchant for $20 a month. Dezi will not touch anything that's not Altria. All right, and so that kind of ends right there. Dezi doesn't do anything that is not Altria. So if your merchant happens to only do Altria, then in fact I would argue that Dezi is probably a good choice. Unless there's other auxiliary needs that are needed for this merchant, then Dezi is probably better. If your merchant does need to do Altria, Reynolds, and ITG, or a combination of these three programs, I'm arguing that CSI Works today is the only provider that can handle that on Clover. And that is because we can do Reynolds, whereas Skupos cannot do Reynolds. And that would be your due diligence, right? So if you are like looking at Skupos and you're talking to a representative who says, oh yes, absolutely, we can do it, there is a trick that they participate in the sense that they'll say, because to onboard, look at what I'm saying here. To onboard Reynolds, it takes 4 to 5 months. And there's always a possibility that maybe in 4 to 5 months they'll have, they'll catch up with the functionality that they need to be able to do the discounts. And that's why they keep taking merchants on Clover. But then 6 months comes around and they don't have the ability to do the discounts on Clover. And we can back that up with the videos. If you just keep watching the series, you'll see. And so that's a, this is why I have a check mark here and no check mark here, because if you want all three programs, this is really the only option for you on Clover today. Dezi won't touch it, and Skupos can't do it. And then there's this value add services, is because we have other apps that service any combination of a merchant. Let's say they're a standalone tobacco merchant, or they're a C-store operator, or they're a combination of a grocery store. We've existed on Clover not because of the tobacco scan data, but generally because we wanted to fill the need that that was where there was a gap on Clover. And so as a result, this is kind of our solution, right? So as far as the tobacco scan data is concerned, we offer a one low price of $49.99, and this isn't any special price that you're getting as part of this video or session here. Not at all. This is a publicly advertised pricing, and in fact, let me go ahead and demonstrate it to you. All right, so let me search for our product here, tobacco scan data, connect, and there's going to be three options, right? Reynolds only. And this one actually will include ITG on its own. We don't even list ITG as a separate product. Altria only, 29, or both, Altria and Reynolds all, for $49.99. So these are the three options that we have. And so this is what I mean, that this isn't really any kind of a special pricing that you're getting because you're watching this demo, but keep watching because there is. This price right here is extremely special. Again, not advertised anywhere, but let me get to it in a minute. So how did I put together the rest of this chart here? And so CSI Works offers tobacco scan data for Altria, Reynolds, ITG. We handle the onboarding. We handle the reporting. We handle the loyalty programs. We handle the EBT splits. EBT split is important because if that merchant also happens to sell products, then that not every item can be paid for with EBT. And so it's important to make sure that merchants don't get into trouble when they do that. And so Altria tobacco scan data, Reynolds tobacco scan data, ITG scan data, products, additional tobacco product, additional attributes. So an app that they get in this package is called Inventory Plus Plus, and that handles everything that is required for the manufacturers in terms of reporting on the item. And then also that is same app that provides EBT split for the merchants at no additional cost. It just happens to be that app, because that's another major point of difference when we approach our technology stack. Dezi has, and you'll see that later, I'll show that even in more detail, but let me just kind of point that out. Dezi has one app that it's a black box and it does everything. Skupos has one app that's a black box and it does everything. CSI Works has like a number of different apps, and each has its own purpose and reason, and everything just kind of works in concert. So it's a very major difference. We are absolutely not a black box. I'm not saying that black box is bad and not blacks is good. I'm just saying that it's very different. And so you'll see that some merchants, kind of want a black box approach, and you'll see that some merchants don't. They want more control. So we are about more control. And so there's a lot more that you can do with our stuff because Inventory++, yes, it does the tobacco thing, but it also handles the EBT split. Cloud CRM, yes, it does the loyalty program, and it also adds age verification, and age verification is integrated with the loyalty program. And again, if you keep watching the series, you'll see everything that I'm saying in the demo. Okay, and then the discount scheduler handles the multi-packs that are associated with the scan data. However, is just an app that a merchant can use to do retailer-initiated discounts, meaning discounts that the retailer just wants to do because they're trying to up their sales the same way with use of the discounts. That app is open for use for that purpose, right? Auxiliary purposes. And then, as you remember, we discussed all of these needs, right? Consumer digital coupons, cash payouts, initiated discounts, manufacturer discounts, fees, EBTs, employee tracking, scale integration, unit term measure. So I'm kind of already touching upon some of these things. EBT split is already built into the cost of the tobacco scan data. It just happens to be that app. Some retailer-initiated discounts can be handled with the discount scheduler because it's already included in tobacco scan data. However, we, CSI Works, we have two other apps that handle discounts. One of them is called Mix or Match or Combo. The other one is called Manual Discounts. And again, if you keep watching the videos in the series, you'll see the demo for those apps. And the separate existence of those apps is just because there's more different use cases and purposes why, but there's usually an extremely good reason why there's a separate app. And so both of those apps have capabilities to express discounts in some unique way. And then for fees, we have an app that's called Advanced Fees, right? And so fees has to do with bottle refunds, I don't have to actually keep regurgitating it. We have it in this chart. Bottle deposits, recycle value, and other required fees that you want to trigger. So this app, Advanced Fees, will happen. Employee Tracker will help with shrink, employee theft, and just monitoring cash on Clover devices. If your merchant is bleeding into the deli section and needs scale integration, we can offer a myriad of different scale options with the use of the barcode parsers and container tear apps. And then the consumer digital coupons, it's important to know. So it says release 2023. And I've pointed out 1, 2, 3, 4 different icons here. So this right here is Mix or Match. This one is Discount Scheduler. That one is Cloud CRM. And this one is Manual Discounts. And so what is the Consumer Digital Coupons? Consumer Digital Coupons is going to be an app that your merchants can distribute to their consumers. And then as merchants create discounts using Mix or Match, Manual Discounts, Discount Scheduler, Cloud CRM, and also including Altria, because Altria will push coupons into that system as well, these consumers will see on their app all of the existing discounts that merchant is running at the moment, so they can come in and redeem those coupons. And with the use of the Cloud CRM, merchant would even be able to identify those consumers. So pretty sophisticated stuff, and it's coming out in 2023 from us. And this is all the value add that I have from CSI Works that one way or another addresses these needs, okay? And so what we're saying that if you actually run into a merchant who needs a majority of these things and scan data, this price right here is extremely special. It is our thank you to you for watching this video, because what we've included here is far beyond what we ever plan to publish publicly or include publicly, should we ever bundle this further. Let me explain. Consumer digital coupons is going to be a service that itself is going to be a standalone service that will probably start in the vicinity of $50 a month, okay? But today, anybody who commits to the 68 plan will get that functionality once we release it at no additional cost. They will also get to enjoy all of these apps, all of them. As they need them, they can use them. And this is a major benefit to you, the agent, because all of this technology is just powered by one third-party provider, us. And that just ensures stability, the continuity of service, and the service level that the merchant receives is much higher. And also then we are on the hook to make sure that all of these apps function together. Because as I'm going to show you a little bit later, as we're going to depict Dezi and Skupos and try to price match these companies to us, you're going to find that if you go Dezi or the Skupos route, you'd have to fill the gaps for other needs. And you can bring us in. I'm happy to participate in those. And in fact, in the examples, I'll probably most likely use the example of us coming in and filling in the gaps. But that's not the fact, right? You can bring in anybody you'd like to fill in those gaps based, whoever is available. But the more providers, the more third-party providers you bring into the mix, the more headaches you're going to encounter, because we don't, you're going to find that apps from one provider don't always talk to an apps from another provider. And while we're willing to play ball and work with other third-party providers, not all of them are that willing. And so not to get caught into this kind of a turf stuff, it's best to just have least amount of providers providing the most amount of service to a merchant, so that there's less touch points and more continuity of service and everythingness working together kind of thing, right? So this right here is an extremely special price. And to get this price, you would need to reach out to me. I am going to share my email address right here, right now, info@csiworks.net. So here it is. Just email me here and let me know that you're looking for this package and that you saw in this video, and maybe share a link with the video. And I will be more than happy to honor it. And now I'm going to show you how we priced it. And so I'm going to price not against, I'm going to price against this deal, okay? But pricing it is a bit of a challenge, because so this is everything that we're talking about, right? And it's like, pricing pretty much like apple, oranges, and bananas, because this is what we offer and this is what we are. But here, Dezi handles certain things, and then with the rest you'd have to fill in. And filling in the rest will require additional cost. Same thing with Skupos, right? So they'll handle certain things, and then with the rest you'd have to require a certain cost. And so to do that, I'm actually going to demonstrate this with a little Excel spreadsheet that I've put. All right, so we're exercising and trying to price against this deal here. And so on the face of it, this is going to be a fairly unrealistic exercise, because this includes everything, all of these apps. And so let me first kind of do this for dramatic effect, and then we can kind of back up into reality a little bit. All right, so say that, in fact, Dezi is cost 0. For the use of the program for Altria tobacco skin data. And say that you can pick up the additional Reynolds program from CSI Works. And ITG would also be included in that, right? So there it is. And the cost of that would be $29.99, just once, so nothing here. And the tobacco product attributes will be included in that package. We'll be able to handle that price. And this is EBT split, right? So 13 is EBT split. And EBT split is not something, no, actually it is, because $29.99 is included. So EBT split is also included in that. Loyalty, in fact, is included. Age verification is not. So they can pay for age verification. Multi-pack discount is included, and the retailer initiated discounts that they can do just on the app itself will be included, no additional cost. if they later want to participate in our program, we're probably going to come out, like I mentioned before, in this price range here. But this is for the future, okay? So, and then, you know, this right here is going to be, if they want to use both of these apps, so $6.15 and $5.99. So let's just say $12, $10 each. So that's $20. Advanced fees is $10.15, and right, and employee tracker, let's just say that they have 3 employees, and so that'll be $3 a month. If they use barcode parser, that's $9.99, and the container there is $9.99. So this is an unrealistic everything case that I honestly don't think would happen here. So we're not going to go with that. So let me just kind of do this real quick and count this real quick just to show you what the value of our proposition is. Not the real cost, but the actual value. And the value is $155 versus $68. But now let's dial it back a little bit, right? So let's say they're not doing this because we won't have it until 2023, and they're not using both of these apps, but they're just using one of these apps. And then they're not using both of these apps, they're just using one of these apps. And let's say that they do, you have advanced fees, everything is the same. All right, so that's more or less realistic, and still 89. All right, so that's with Dezi, and that's including their free Altria package. And then we're just charging for Reynolds, ITG, age verification, payout solution, additional discounting solution, fees, employee tracking, barcode scanning. This is for the scale and the deli section, and the unit there, that's also there. So there it is. And then we can price the Skupos. And so remember, Skupos can only really do Altria, $20, and they can do ITG, which they'll charge another $20. And then for Reynolds, we will put in CSI Works on Clover. That would be $29.99, right? So, and in fact, we can have the merchant cancel the ITG at that point from Skupos, because it'll be included in our $29.99, right? So that will become 0 for them. The product prep will handle as part of that price. EBT split will handle as part of this price. Loyalty will handle as part of this. No. Yeah, loyalty is part of this price, and this $9.99 for age verification. Even if they have the solution for age verification themselves, they would have to replace it for us. And again, Skupos doesn't have it, so merchant might be using some other provider. So even if it's another provider, the price is pretty much standard $9.99. There is one that's $3, but it's literally just entering, manually looking, physically looking at the driver's license and manually entering the age into the screen. But these right here, the solution that scans is exactly $9.99 by everybody. So I'm just kind of taking that one into account, and let's just go with CSI Work for funds. So discount scheduler will be part of this $29.99, and the cost, you know, so this will be CSI Works, and the cost will be 0 here. And then let's say, you know, we're doing the same thing here, just to be exactly the same. 10, 15, 3, 9.99, 9. In fact, let me first do everything, right? So $12 here, $20 here, 10, 15, $3, $9.99, and $9.99. All right, and this number should equal this number, and so it's $105 with Skupos. Let me make sure we got everything. We may not got everything. Yeah, we're missing that $20 right here. So it's not 5; it's actually more. It's plus that $20. So yeah, it's 125. But if we just pull back this one to 615, because they can have two apps and they will have it here, but if they're paying for it, they're probably not going to do that. Same thing here, they can have two apps and they can have it here, but if they're doing it here, they're probably going to want to just do one of them. And let's just do the one that's $9.99, and the rest is the same. And so this number, so basically the scenario where you go Dezi route, the cheapest option, to handle, a scenario where these things are true, and use their free Altria and just have us come in for the CSI works, for the Reynolds ITG, age verification, and these auxiliary things, we're looking at $89.25 a month, right? So there's definitely a discount here. And the same thing with Skupos, we're looking at $109.25. And it's because while Dezi will give away for free, Skupos will still want to charge $20 for Altria, and we will charge $29.99 for the Reynolds and ITG, and we will cancel the $20 that Skupos would charge for ITG because it would just be included here. And even that wouldn't help because it would still come out to be at 109. And again, like, this isn't really a bashing session. I mean, this is math. And this is kind of the value prop. So again, our proposition is that merchants get this package, all of it, and then we would be willing to price it that way, and more importantly, honor it. Remember, this price, $68.99, becomes even more valuable in 2023 because by then we would be releasing the service that would sit up on top of these four discounting apps that would just distribute discounts to consumer hands. Powerful stuff that's being pioneered by Altria. All right, so I'll see you in the next video, which will just be the pure demonstration of all of these apps and services in action. Hope to see you there. Thank you.